Hey everyone, welcome to Mythical Masala with Neve, where we are about to unlock the wildest, most magical stories from ancient India. I'm your host, Neve, and I get to take you on this journey through the greatest legends of Indian mythology. From magical myths to brave heroes and tricky demons, these stories are packed with action and some pretty cool life lessons. Ready? Let's jump in. Previously on Mythical Masala, the Pandavas were deep in disguise. A chef, cowherd, courtier, a dance teacher. But the Kauravas were closing in, and when war finally knocked at the gates of Matsya, guess who had to go defend the kingdom?
A teenage prince with zero experience.
And his charioteer, a graceful, quiet eunuch named Brihannala. But you and I both know, Brihannala is no ordinary dancer.
So, what happens when this delicate charioteer suddenly picks up a bow?
Let's just say, the battlefield is about to get very interesting. Get ready for divine weapons, royal secrets, and one of the biggest reveals in the entire Mahabharata. Because the Pandavas, they're done hiding. So there they were, on the battlefield, stretched like a vast canvas of dust and tension. Golden fields outside Virat's capital swayed in the wind, and in the distance, the Kuru army stood like a thundercloud, ready to strike. And right in front of them, young Prince Uttar, puffed up with royal pride just moments ago, was now a nervous wreck.
And beside him, his strange charioteer, Brihannala, stood calm, collected, almost glowing. They couldn't be more opposite.
Yes, Uttar, with wobbling knees, his courage melted. Let's just turn back. I don't want to fight anymore. I'll give you gold, jewels, anything. Just take me back to the palace.
Wow. From hero to hare in 5 seconds flat.
He even jumped out of the chariot and almost got away. But Brihannala, calm as ever, a faint smile playing on that serene face. Wearing royal silks, long flowing hair, yet standing with the stillness of a mountain. There was something unshakable about that presence. If you don't want to fight, that's fine. I'll do the fighting. You hold the reins. Together, we can drive straight through that army. Are you game? Said Brihannala.
Did the dancer just volunteer to fight a war?
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, the Kuru army was watching all this unfold from afar. All eyes were on the chariot. Bhishma squinted into the sunlight. Something about the charioteer.
He's on to something.
That's no ordinary dancer, thought Bhishma. Look at those arms, that walk, that confidence. I'd bet my life that's Arjuna. I think he's gonna fight the war while Uttar drives the chariot.
Wow, the old guy's got some eyesight. He saw those muscles from that far? Impressive.
Well, not everyone was impressed.
I guess that's Duryodhana.
It was Karna. He wasn't having any of it. Arjun, again with this obsession? He's not even a fraction of what I am.
Jealous much?
Little did they know, the charioteer was about to pick up his bow, and everything would change. Not far from the palace gates, just beyond the quiet edge of the city, stood an ancient shami tree, tall, proud, silent. At its base was a secret.
So, a shami tree is scientifically known as Prosopis cineraria. It's also called khejri tree or jand. and is native to arid regions of South Asia and Middle East, and usually highly valued in traditional medicine or as a food source. It also plays a significant role in the spiritual system. According to Vedic astrology, the Shami tree is associated with Lord Shani, who's linked to the planet Saturn. But tell me, what's this tree got to do with the battle?
Brihannala led Prince Uttar toward it. The prince still looked unsure, embarrassed after his earlier outburst, and confused by the mysterious confidence of his charioteer.
The scene has just shifted. Did they just leave the battlefield? Like, timeout? I need to knock some sense into this kid?
Yeah, well, let's assume their armies were doing some of the fighting. Anyways, back to the tree. Uttarkumar's hesitation vanished when Brihannala knelt before the tree, dug some, and pulled away a carefully hidden bundle of cloth. One by one, divine weapons gleamed in the sunlight.
Ooh, Arjun's going all in. The legendary Gandiva bow, a quiver filled with celestial arrows, swords, shields, and maces that once thundered across battlefields.
What are these? Whose weapons? Uttarkumar stammered. These belong to the Pandavas. To Yudhishthir, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev. And this bow is Gandiva. It is equal to 100,000 ordinary weapons. Forged by fire, gifted by the gods. It once belonged to Shiva, passed on to Indra, Soma, Varun, and finally to me.
Wait, what? That's probably what Uttar Kumar is thinking.
Uttarkumar stared. His jaw practically hit the forest floor. Brihannala? You're Arjun?
Plot twist.
He stumbled backward, his heart pounding. The thought of casually giving orders to Arjun, the legendary warrior, made him feel like he was a royal fool.
Fool he was.
Still dazed, he blinked, then narrowed his eyes suspiciously. Wait, how do I know you're Arjun? Tell me your names. All 10.
Oh, Arjun had 10 names?
Yep, here goes. Arjun, Falgun, Jishnu, Kiritin, Svetavahana, Vibhatsu, Vijay, Krishna, Savyasachi, and Dhananjaya.
Boom, verified. But that doesn't sound like a super secure passphrase or something. I mean, most people might have known the names.
Well, not important. Uttarkumar's fear vanished. His embarrassment turned into awe, and then into fierce excitement. Come on, let's go. We're gonna win this.
This kid goes from being inflated to deflated to inflated at super speed.
And so the prince who once ran from battle now raced toward it, chariot reins in hand, guided by none other than Arjun, his teacher, his shield, his secret weapon. From the edge of the forest, their chariot rolled onto the battlefield. This time, Prince Uttarkumar held the reins. And beside him stood Arjun, no longer Brihannala, but the warrior in full glory. Arjun holding the Gandiva bow. He blew his conch.
That wasn't just any conch. That was Devdutt, Arjun's divine conch shell.
The moment it echoed across the plains, the Kaurava army froze. Birds scattered. Horses neighed nervously. Soldiers stumbled back. And in the sky above, the winds turned hot, the light faded, and jackals howled from the shadows.
Ooh, a conch did that? Wow. That's never a good sign.
The elders in the Kaurava camp, Bhishma, Drona, even Ashwatthama, looked at each other with dread. These are signs of destruction. Let us not invite ruin.
Bhishma, wise as always.
The 13 years are over. The Pandavas have honored their vow. But as usual, Duryodhana didn't care.
Blah blah dharma, blah blah fairness. I'm Duryodhana. I'm going to steal some cattle instead.
Yep, he ignored all advice and decided to loot King Virat's cattle. You know, just a casual way to say, I was here. But before he could say moo, Arjun struck. Arjun fired arrows faster than the eye could follow. He held off the main Kaurava army single-handedly. And then aimed straight for Duryodhana.
Cue, panic, run.
As the chariot thundered forward, Arjun invoked a celestial weapon, a divine missile that burst like light across the battlefield. And in an instant, everyone in the Kaurava army fell unconscious. Even their armor was gone.
Wait, he stole their clothes?
Yep, in ancient battles, stealing the enemy's garments was like waving a flag that said, "You lost."
That's funny. It's worse than losing the battle.
And yes, he brought back the cattle too. Arjun returned to the palace in secret, hid his weapons and armor, and transformed once again into Brihannala. As the city cheered, Prince Uttar rode proudly into court.
And took all the credit, didn't he?
Exactly. Arjun let him. Because, well, the disguise had to stay intact. Just a little longer. Did you know there's an alternate version of this story?
Really? Does Uttar Kumar really win the battle by himself in that alternate version? Maybe it's told by the people of the kingdom who were made to believe the prince did it all by himself.
Not exactly. As Arjun entered the battlefield, he didn't charge in with fury. Instead, he did something unexpected, something deeply respectful. He fired 2 arrows. One landed at the feet of Bhishma, his granduncle. The other at the feet of Dronacharya, his guru.
13 years, and still the first thing he did was bow with his arrows?
The battlefield fell silent for a moment. Even war paused for that one gesture. But then, the silence shattered. As the conch rang again, hope vanished from the Kaurava camp. Soldiers looked at each other shaking. Whispers spread like wildfire. It's Arjun. It's the real Arjun.
Some were ready to surrender, others not so much.
Karna, Vikarna, and several other kings rallied. They charged at Arjun, roaring battle cries. But Arjun's bow moved faster than thought. His arrows formed a network, a cage of wind and fire. None could move, none could escape.
Retreat, retreat, Karna goes.
He pierced Karna again and again, arrows lodging in his arms, legs, shoulders, chest. Karna's body was mangled. His pride shattered. And then he fled.
Karna ran?
Yep, fled the battlefield. And he wasn't the only one. One by one, Arjun defeated Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Duryodhana, and even Bhishma. But he didn't kill them. But they were so badly wounded, they had to be carried away.
One warrior, whole army, and not a scratch on him. Sounds like a Hollywood movie.
Finally, Bhishma turned to Duryodhana and said, "Accept defeat. Go back. Save your life." And this time, even Duryodhana didn't argue. He bowed his head, and the battered army limped back to Hastinapur.
Interesting. Not sure which version I like more.
King Virat was glowing with pride. He had defeated Susarma. The kingdom was safe. But where was his son, Prince Uttar?
He's defending the capital, sir.
Exactly. As they searched for him, news arrived from the palace. The Kaurava army has been defeated.
By Uttar?
Well, that's what everyone believed. Even King Virat was amazed, and a little smug. And Kanka, the quiet courtier, who was actually Yudhishthir, praised Brihannala for their role in the battle.
That feels very out of character for Yudhishthir. Sure, the king would be perplexed and angry.
Yes, King Virat lost his temper and slapped Yudhishthir.
He hit him? He slapped a prince in disguise?
Yep, smack, right across the face. When Uttar returned, he was angry too, but at his father. Father, you must apologize. Kanka is not who you think he is. The king stood frozen. What was going on?
Yeah, poor king can't keep up.
The next day, he walked into the royal court and saw 5 strangers seated on the prince's thrones. Kanka, Vallabha, Brihannala, Dharmagranthi, Tantripala. Wait, weren't they the cook, the dancer, the stable boy, the cattle herder?
Oh no, his brain must have surely short-circuited.
And then the truth came out. Kanka was Yudhishthir. Vallabha was Bhim. Brihannala was Arjuna. Dharmagranthi, Nakul. Tantripala, Sahadev. King Virat gasped. He fell at Yudhishthir's feet and said, "Forgive me, this kingdom is yours."
Wow, a whole year they lived in disguise, in humility, and now they stood tall again.
Yes, soon after, a grand wedding was held.
Ah, this is the wedding of Princess Uttara, who was married to Abhimanyu, Arjun's son.
The celebrations were in full swing when a messenger from Hastinapur arrived. He delivered a message from Duryodhana. "You've been discovered. Another 12 years of exile."
Nice try, Duryodhana. Should have paid more attention in math class.
The Pandavas simply said, "Tell your prince, the 13 years are over." And that's how the great disguise came to an end. The Pandavas revealed their true identities, the Kauravas were left fuming, and the kingdom of Matsya would never be the same again.
From cooks to cattle keepers, from dancers to dice players, they fooled an entire kingdom and outwitted Duryodhana once more.
But don't go anywhere, because now that the 13 years are finally over, it's time for the real battle to begin.
It feels like I have been waiting for 13 years to get to this part. So, who will fight? Who will stay loyal? And what secret strategies are being planned?
We'll find out in the next episode of Mythical Masala with Neve. Thanks for listening, and as always, keep the myths alive. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me on another magical adventure here at Mythical Masala with Neve. I hope you enjoyed today's tale and learned something new about the legends of ancient India. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Got questions or a favorite myth you'd love to hear? Send them my way. You can follow us at Mythical Masala Podcast on social media for more updates, behind the scenes fun, and to be part of our mythical community. Make sure to share this podcast with your friends and family and have them join in on the fun. Until next time, remember, every great adventure starts with a little curiosity and imagination. See you soon!